Oh, yeah, it's recording now already?
Oh, yeah, it's already recording. This is only seconds after
You was like, click, click. I was like, oh, okay.
I thought it was funny to leave it on the other end with you saying, I could go for a calzone. That's how this show really is. Like, we talk about the movie for maybe 60% of the time. The rest of it is just kind of talking about broken seats at the movie theater or really, really wanting a calzone. That's why we have one of the best movie review shows.
Or a little insight of our relationship.
You point at my White Castle shirt.
No, I meant like, or if you want like a little bit of like insight of our relationship. Cause
do they live in a car?
No, because like we talk about sometimes of our married life.
Yeah, during an Uncut Gems review, like my crippling gambling addiction.
No.
That's why we're living in this garage. So we also went to go see Little Women, and as I said in the other video, it's an odd double feature to sit through. It's like it's like watching Bad Lieutenant and following it up with Gone with the Wind. So have you read the book of this?
I want to. It's kind of one of the books I've been trying to get to.
Yeah.
I really like the movie with Winona Ryder and Kristen Dunst and stuff.
I love one from '94.
I love that movie. And I like the story. Like, I don't know, having siblings. It's something I really kind of, sisters especially, like, well, I have one brother, but he's basically a sister. Sorry, Alex.
I hope he sees this.
Oh, he won't. Well, I've had like two sisters, one brother, and, you know, so he's surrounded by women, so he's mostly like a sister.
He's gonna love you for this, saying it on the internet.
Oh, he doesn't go on the internet. He's in med school.
Oh, that's true. He's way too busy.
You know, like having a relationship with siblings, it's just something like a story you can kind of relate with. And
yeah, as a male-only child, absolutely.
Especially with the relationship with Joe and Amy.
Yeah.
I see that Joe being my oldest sister and me being a little bit like Amy.
A little? Really? Just a little?
Not that bratty.
No, honey.
Maybe
when I turn off the camera, she's going to hit me upside the head. Only when you're hangry.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be driving somewhere, you'll be like, I'm hungry. I'm like, we'll stop and get you something to eat. You're like, no. I'm like, we're stopping and getting you something to eat.
Did you like the 94 one?
I saw it when it came out in 94. I haven't seen it since then. I recall thinking it was fine. I should have gone to see the one last year. There's been like 8 adaptations of this. There was one last year.
Like Modern Tale?
Yeah, and I want to say Pureflix released it. Because I remember getting trailers for it, but it never came out, and Leah Thompson was in it. And it's got like the worst poster for it, where they're modernized, and it's like, new generation, same sisters, or something like that, and doing one of these. Like, yeah. I'm like, oh. I want to see that one.
No.
Yeah, there's been a lot of different adaptations for this. So when I got the trailer for this movie, I was like, is there another Little Women came out? I swear there was just one, like, modernized one, like, a year ago.
I think there was also a TV movie one.
There's, like, miniseries, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be more than one miniseries based off of this. So this is the Greta Gerwig one. She wrote and directed the movie. Emma Watson is in this. Florence Pugh, Laura Dern.
I don't know who plays Beth. She must be
Yeah.
She's not really in it that much, so.
Yeah. So, what did you think of this compared, really, to the 1994 one? Because you probably remember more than 94
It's been
one
so
than I do.
long. I should have watched it before we saw this.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember it like, each detail of it, but I remember like, kind of the point, like, where Amy falls in ice. I remember Lori.
Yeah.
I remember the hair thing. She burned her hair, and, like...
Oh, yeah.
And like, cutting her hair. Like, all that stuff. I remember all these little plot points in it.
Was it structured the same way?
I don't think it was. The structure in this movie was a little weird for me.
Okay, because I haven't seen... Or, well, I have seen the one from it, but I haven't seen it in 25 years. And I didn't recall that about that, but it's been 25 years. I've not read the book, so I don't know if the book is paced like this movie is. This movie, I thought, the acting in it's fantastic. Especially Saoirse Ronan, if you pronounce the name.
I think it's
Saoirse Ronan. And Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh is the best thing in this movie.
She is the best. She is the best.
She's like one of my new favorite actresses.
She can do humor. She can do drama. She can do horror. There's a scene in this movie that's a wedding scene where she's in this gown with these flowers in her hair. And I'm like, this is too soon after
like a flower crown.
Yeah, I'm like, this is too soon after after Midsummer.
It's a little too familiar.
Yeah, I know. And as soon as I said that, like they start dancing around in a circle, and I'm like, this is gonna get real dark real fast. Dude's gonna be in a bear suit. There's gonna be a fire.
He's gonna have sex with some woman.
I was already kind of waiting for the Beguiled to happen halfway through the movie.
It's around the same time period, I think.
yeah. I'm like, I've not read the book. Maybe it does get really violent halfway through.
You read which book?
I haven't read the book. Maybe Little Women does get really violent.
I thought you said you've read the book. I was like, you've read Little Women?
No, I didn't.
I was like, that doesn't seem like a book you would read.
No, I didn't. But
it's I don't think it was structured like that in the 94. I don't think.
So
I could be wrong. It's been a really long time since I've seen it.
So what I liked best about this one was certainly the performances of the two leads, because really Joe and Amy are the main ones in this movie.
Yeah.
And also the look of it. Like, it does feel like an old epic melodrama. It does. There's a lot of craft and care put into the shots, put into the extras, especially in these party scenes, these wedding scenes. The detail of the costuming, the sets, the cinematography, it's great. And where the movie ends up, you can tell that this is coming from a huge amount of respect to the book and for the story and for these characters. There is a lot of love and care put into the movie, and it has a lot of heart to it. It's a charming movie.
Oh, it's very. I felt really warm when I was watching this.
Yeah, especially because there's a lot of Christmassy stuff in the movie. So it did have that going for it. And funny stuff too with Tracy Letts. He's only in the movie a couple times. You see him in the trailer. He's got a couple of funny scenes in this movie. He's the one who played the book publisher. And so the back and forth that he's having with Joe about the ending while showing it simultaneously to the ending of the movie. There was some clever editing, like there. And a weird bit of casting when Bob Odenkirk shows up in the movie.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
That was weird. Like,
he's done some serious stuff.
He has, and he does drama well. But Bob Odenkirk popping up in Little Women is sort of like, I'm waiting for like a punchline, kind of like it's a sketch.
That didn't feel that weird to me,
but he's only in it a few times, and he is good. It's just a random Bob Odenkirk in Little Women.
He's a huge fan of the book.
Can't wait till they do Little Men and David Cross pops up in it.
Is there a Little Men book?
Yeah,
I thought there was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Sounds a little emasculating. Little Men.
That one's just like The Beguiled.
It is?
No, yes.
I don't know.
It's exactly this. Or you know what? Maybe I haven't read it, and I know there's a couple of adaptations of Little Men. What I mainly remembered most about Little Women was the Friends episode. Where
I know. I kept thinking about that too.
It's like, I know what's going to happen here with one of the characters because of the Friends episode. And when that sadness happens in the movie, I would have given you so much money to go out to the lobby and find like an employee and say, "Hi, do you mind putting this movie in the freezer?"
Oh.
Friends one where Joey hides books that make him scared and puts them in the freezer.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Why, yes, I have had a couple of these. I didn't ask, ma'am, but I assumed. So when I got like a half hour, 40 minutes in this movie, I was thinking what I thought I wouldn't have thought would come into my head while going into Little Women, which was, I was sitting there going, this is really hard to follow. I kind of
Like
had
the storytelling, the structure of it. Like,
yeah. So it
was a little odd how it was structured.
It does jump around.
It doesn't really tell you.
Yeah,
like,
so...
Like, I'm glad it doesn't do, like, 2 months earlier, 3 months earlier, 2 months later.
No, that would have gotten old.
But it does do that a lot. Like, if you put the little, like, 2 months earlier, or whatever the time frame is, it would have done it a lot in this movie, because...
No, it would have.
It would have been,
so
like...
I get it.
There's, like, she'll be doing something... And they look... It's, like, 7-year span of time, but they look the same.
I was having such a problem with that.
Yeah, I was like,
they
don't look like they're 7 years.
I was like, how much
age?
How much earlier is this?
It was 7 years, I thought it said.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So like, I was going like, okay, wait, I thought those two already knew each other. Wait, what's going on here? So it took me a minute to kind of catch up to what this movie was doing.
Sometimes it wasn't that they did parts of that well, because they would be like, oh, like, they would introduce each other or something, and they'd be like, oh, this is this person, oh, hello, like, you know.
Yeah.
Or they would have her wearing the same outfit or something, like, because Joe is in New York, and she has to come back because her sister Beth is ill.
Yeah.
And so, from the time frame of her coming from New York to wherever they live, I don't know where it was, we see, like, the past of this relationship between all the girls, like, from 7 years ago. And they would go back and forth from her traveling to her family's home to, like, also their relationship 7 years ago. So sometimes that would get a little confusing, because it would jump around randomly. It wasn't like, oh, this one, like, it would be, like, maybe 2 minutes of something happening, and then it'll show her on a train about to go to...
I know, I would be like, it... Early on in the movie, I was like, did they mix up the reels in some of this? Like
it wasn't that confusing to me, but it was odd. I wouldn't have picked that.
But you know the source material more than I do.
Yeah,
like,
if you don't know it, I don't think.
So from my point of view, watching it, like I did dig it. I did, because I mean especially Florence Pugh was my favorite part of the movie, and the look and the acting and the chemistry between a lot of them. But because of how a lot of it was paced, it would take me a while to really kind of get to know a lot of these characters. So like something tragic would happen to somebody, but because it's paced like it is and
like
edited like
the
it
four
is.
Girls, or
no, even a couple of them, I was like, this person kind of feels like they're just sort of there, like Emma Watson.
The person that felt like they were just kind of there was Beth.
I know, same. I feel the same way about her character too.
They kind of say she's the quiet one, which kind of lazy, but maybe that's just how it is in the book too.
Maybe. So I go like, well, maybe this is just how it normally is. But because of that, when something tragic happens with her, I was going like, I feel like I should be more sad than I am, because I was like, I feel like I don't know this person all that well because of how the movie's kind of edited. And
it's mostly focused on Joe and Amy.
And yeah, like, and Emma Watson's fine in the movie, but she was a character where I'm like, I feel like this character's just kind of just here.
She was the refined one.
Yeah, she's the Charlotte of the girls.
Normally I don't like Emma Watson that much. I don't think she's that great of an actress, but she was fine in this. Her British accent I felt kind of slipped every now and then.
Oh, hey, I haven't seen her neighbor before.
We have a car that's parked next to us. We never see them. They're always...
I can finally put a face to a car.
Last time it was a woman, but...
Nah. No, she was on the other side.
Yeah, there's a car that's next to us.
Let's follow them.
They never leave their park. There's always a car there, and this time it's not there. And
yeah.
Like, finally, we get to see what they look like.
Mystery solved.
Not that you guys care.
Hey, you want to come in the car and talk Little Women with us?
What was I
Do
saying?
we?
Emma Watson. I thought her British accent slipped a little sometimes. Her R's were a little, like, they weren't a hard R that American accents kind of are. She had a little bit of, like, a British R, like a She's like, sorry.
Sure.
Like, sorry.
Boy, you could just never give her a win, can you?
I don't think she
hate
did.
her.
She, like, acts through her eyebrows a lot, and that kind of annoys me.
Oh, you'd love Last Christmas.
I think Emilia Clarke, I haven't seen her.
Emilia Clarke's a really good actress.
But, like, maybe I just have a bad taste in my mouth from Beauty and the Beast and Emma Watson. I'm like, oh, God, you sucked in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't, I'm sorry, I just didn't. What? Why? You feel bad for her for me? Do you feel bad for her for me saying that?
You mean girl?
I like her as a person. She seems like a nice girl. She like.
But you will break into her house and burn her manuscript.
Maybe I need to see.
You are the Amy.
And I hate Perks of a Wallflower too. I hate that fucking movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's awful. Anytime I remember when I was dating on OkCupid, just briefly. When a guy was really pretentious and annoying, he would always say his favorite movie was Perks of Being a Wallflower and Garden State. And I would be like, nope. I'm sorry.
So you settled with the guy whose favorite movie's Caligula? You know what?
I'll give him a chance.
Lard up the fist, put it up in the ass like in Caligula. That's fine.
Anyways, sorry. Not that you guys cared about my dating life beforehand.
Nothing against Roman emperors who lard up their fists and put it up poor Proculus's ass.
But anyways, yeah, I thought she was fine in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, Florence Pugh is the best part of this movie.
Oh, she's great.
And Saoirse Ronan, I don't know how to...
Yeah.
She's really good in this. I really like her as an actress.
No, the performances I thought were great in this movie when they're given enough character to do so with, because Joe's given a lot of character to work with, and so is Amy. They both are. They are both kind of the focal points of a lot of this story, and their acting is so good that those characters, I'm like, all right, I got a feel for these two. Like, these
kind of
two
overshadow
really do have
the other ones.
a hook. Yeah, they really, really do.
But I can see you do need a focal point. Like,
no,
certainly. There's a lot of characters.
No, there are. And also, it was the way the movie was edited, too. That was where I was kind of going like, okay, like, where are we now? Okay, we're here now. Now we're here. There. Okay, I think I got this. I didn't expect to be so confused while watching a lot of this movie.
I don't think I was as confused as you, but...
No. And I was still on kind of a sugar rush from Uncut Gems. So maybe my brain was still working a little bit into overdrive.
Those are very two different movies.
Yeah, maybe like my ADHD was going kind of wild in the first 20 minutes of this movie. So maybe if I was a little bit more mellow going into the film, I could have been caught up to speed a little bit better.
I like when Florence Pugh, she puts her feet in like cement or something. She's like, I'm molding my feet so he can remember how dainty and small my feet are.
And then she gets stuck.
I thought that was so funny.
I was going, you would get your foot stuck in like a molding thing, yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
My feet aren't that cute, though. I would never do that.
Already. You have very nice feet, sweetie. Like, I don't know why you'd be making me a bust to your feet, but for some reason I can picture your foot getting stuck in one of those.
She's like, she gets in trouble at school, and she's like, I can't go home. Like, she got like hit.
Yeah, she got smacked in the hand.
She made me laugh.
She was
a lot
great. She was very funny in this. Yeah, and she really does feel like she has an arc between being this kind of brat like she is early and where she ends up at the end of the movie. I liked it. I liked the movie. It's not in my 10 best, really. And I know it is for a lot of people. It's making a lot of 10 best lists. It's not in mine. I think the movie looks great, and the acting is good too, and there are certain characters that do shine. There were just some issues that I had with some minor characters and even kind of the way the movie was paced. But other than that, it's a very likable movie. It's
something you can watch with your mom and your sisters.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's like a total family
Certainly.
movie. It's sweet. It made me feel like I got a warm hug.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is. It's a hard movie to not like.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts about the movie?
No, I think if you really like the story and if you really like Lady Bird and the director and stuff, I think you should check it out. But if you're someone that's not really familiar with the story, maybe you get a little lost like Brad, but
maybe, I don't know. Like I said, it could have just been that like my mind was in a wildly different place after seeing Uncut Gems, but because we really did, there was no break in between the movies. We had to go from one to the next. So yeah, I mean, and there are like it's a worthy adaptation, I think, in that like it says a lot about the filmmaking of it and the acting, that this is the 8th adaptation of this, and it's still getting very, very good reviews, and people are warming up to it. So it's not just, oh, well, here's another adaptation of this for whatever reason.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's annoying.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, so this bypasses that, certainly. Not that I've seen a lot of the other adaptations, but the fact that it does say a lot that there's been so many, whether it's miniseries, movies, yeah, that something like this can come out and still strikes a chord with its audience. So
it's a relationship between siblings. That's a timeless kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can relate to. I mean, at least me, you don't have any. But
I do want to see that modernized one from like a year ago.
You threw away the file on my computer of my book.
Oh my god, I hope that happens in the movie. Man, what was that stupid tag? What's that tagline it as? Like, different generation, same attitude. Or no, it was like, new generation, same sisters. Oh god, I gotta see this movie.
One of them's a YouTuber.
Please let that be the case.
Instead of her being like wanting to be a writer, she's trying to be a YouTuber and make it big.
Oh, please. I hope it's disgustingly modernized. Oh, I gotta see this movie. Okay. Well, Jared and I are gonna try to see this Filipino movie called The Mall the Merrier at some point, I think.
Fun.
Oh, yeah. The Mall the Merrier? What's that? Dude, we gotta go. All right, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
See ya.